Hey Capricorn, welcome back to the Souls and Stardust podcast channel. I'm going to do a love and relationship reading for you. I'm going to use a few different decks. This will be for the month of September. Oh, that one wants to come out. You see how it's hanging out? We're going to pull that. But whenever you come across this reading, the energy will be relevant for you. Time is very fluid. It's meaningless actually. So whenever you come across this, it'll be good for you. Just asking what Capricorn needs to know about September for love and relationships. Love and relationships. Oh, my deck doesn't want to. There it goes. Oh, that came up. That came up for somebody else too. Maybe Libra. Go. All right, poised. Let's take a look at these energies. So I'm going to start here first. Ooh, a leg up. Okay, Capricorn. A leg up is all about asking for help and not being afraid to ask for help or not being too proud to ask for help. This is receiving help, delegating authority. This is having people in terms of love and relationships, this is about thriving in relationship where there's interdependence, where you recognize that you need other people as much as they need you. And I know Cap energy. I have so many Capricorns in my life, and they like to do the stuff themselves. They like to rely on themselves. They actually don't like to rely on other people unless they really, really, really trust them. They would prefer to do things themselves because they know it will get done right. And that is also, very typical of Virgo energy too. So for this relationship, message for you, this is about allowing people to support you and just as you are there for them. So you need to receive help as much as you give help. And it's time for you to be very vulnerable and speak up about what you need and not be afraid to ask for them and know that they'll get fulfilled. You need to ask people what you need. You need to ask them for what you need so that they can provide it. Otherwise, they won't know. And then trust that this does not make you weak. It's not weak for you to ask for that help. It's not weak for you to have to rely on somebody to be there to support you. And in relationship, you should never have to carry the burden of the emotional or mental support and physical activities in the relationship all the time. That's not practical or sustainable. You get to receive too. So ask for what you need. You cannot expect other people to read your mind though, Capricorn. It just does not work very well. And you will be resentful because people need to hear your words. So the next card we have is the Never-Ending Story. And this is a card of self-criticism and the wounded ego. This is you being hard on yourself, telling yourself a story that, especially in relationship, with another person, you're telling yourself a story about pain, self-criticism, neglect, right? That could actually be happening in your relationship, Capricorn. But what you need to do is confront it. You need to talk about what you need. This other person may not even know that that's happening or they're being perceived that way. This is also about vulnerability and intimacy and knowing where you stand in a relationship. Can you trust this person to be open and vulnerable with them, and considering how valuable knowledge is and your words and your expression of what you want and need. This is an opportunity for important healing within this relationship, but you have to be really honest with yourself about the stories you tell yourself about what's going on in this relationship and how that's coloring your ability to be open and vulnerable with the partner. How does it How does it fuel feelings? How does that story in your head fuel feelings about the way you're connected, or the abandonment you might feel, or rejection or loneliness? So you have to decide to begin a new story. You have to be very honest with yourself too about how are your wounding patterns coloring this and preventing you from being able to have effective communication and connection with the person that you're with. So have compassion for yourself, the part of yourself that is telling this story, and ask for help. So Capricorns, I feel like September, this is really about you identifying like where you get to ask for help and ask for how your needs can be met, and identifying how you've told yourself a certain story, maybe in victimhood, through this relationship without actually having all of the information, or not actually doing your part to communicate what you want and what you need. I hope that resonates. So the Poised card, this is about taking action typically, but in the reverse. So this is, it's about, well, being ready to take action, bringing something to light. But in the reverse, this card is really a message about feeling like you're not ready to move forward. So we are in a Mercury retrograde right now, and Mercury goes direct, I think, like September 16th or something like that. And then there's like a shadow period for a few days of, Mercury still messing with communications. You're meant to be very thoughtful right now about all of this. You're meant to be reflective. This is about you coming into yourself and understanding where you are in this relationship, and how, like, what have you been doing to create the situation that currently is, and how might you need to address that within yourself. You're not ready quite yet. It may not be time yet to have those conversations that are kind of like the coming to Jesus conversations, where you sit down with your partner and you say, this needs to happen or else, right? This is more of a being thoughtful before moving forward, really getting a handle on what it is you need to communicate and why, what's really important for you in this relationship, what you really want and need, and what are the best ways that you can bring that forward. So until then, you might have to just kind of like ride this wave and, fake it till you make it, until you really know how it is you want to move forward with this. You need to be really thoughtful. I think there's some things you have to discover about yourself first. I keep hearing the word resentment, right? So some of you may be really struggling with not communicating because you're really angry or you're resentful of a partner. And this could be like past hurts too that are actually interfering with you bringing a new partner in. So some of you who are looking for a relationship, you might have some work to do here before you're ready to actually bring a new partner in. It's okay to postpone this discussion until you feel really, really ready, but you need to use that time to get very clear on what it is that you need in this and why, and being very honest with yourself too about how you've brought some toxicity to it or some unhealthy patterns to the surface that are really affecting your partnership or the ability to be in healthy partnership if you are looking for a partner. So that's interesting energy, Capricorn. This is about healing for you right now, being really reflective. I mean, she's even there sitting there on a timepiece, and she's got her hand on her head, and she's deep in thought about what she needs to be doing, maybe even feeling a little bit overwhelmed. So you need to take this time to be thoughtful and consider yourself. But this really is about asking for what you want and need in order to have fulfillment in your relationship. What else does Capricorn need to know about this situation? What else does Capricorn need to know about this situation? Whoa, okay. All right. Okay, so same page. You two aren't even in the same book right now. So interesting, right? You really aren't. And you need to figure out what you want, like what book you're in and what book they're in, and how do you blend the stories if you can, or how to get the other person to put down the other book and come into your book, or you put down your book and go into their book, right? So that is clearly saying there's some miscommunication, misalignment that's happening for you in this relationship. Let's see. Why does this feel boring? Add some flavor. Okay. You may be feeling this, Capricorn, like you've reached kind of a dead end. The connection feels a little bit dull or a lot dull. This is because you are not getting what you need and you're not asking for it. And you have to figure out what that means for you, so that you can communicate it. Gain perspective, which we talked about. You're not quite ready to have this discussion yet because there are things you need to discover about what's going on inside of you that's so monumental for this relationship, that's so important or crucial, that feels, I keep hearing the words make it or break it, right? So for some of you, this is a make or break point and you're kind of pissed. And you really need to take some time to just settle in and think and feel about this. Like, what's really going on inside of me? What do I really need and want? Why am I not communicating that? So gain some perspective over this Mercury retrograde period. And then we have your soulmate can't find you if you never leave your house. Just saying. So for some of you, this is about doing that inner work, so that you are in your full authenticity and closer to healing and healing and healing, so that your soulmate can identify you, so that you are ready for stepping into that relationship where you can communicate really well what you need and what you want, where you're able to ask for help and receive it, and where you aren't necessarily telling yourself the old stories anymore about who you are in relationship or what's happened to you before. Okay, what else does Capricorn need to know? This is a long one. What else does Capricorn need to know about this? Holy crap. Look at this. Ask for help. Caught in a loop. More information is needed. There you go, guys. There you go. You get to gain some perspective. Ask for help, caught in a loop, because you're caught in that thinking loop. And then more information is needed. So you slow down, you gain perspective, you figure out what it is you want and need, and then how you're going to express that. And really get to the root of what it is, right? It's not like you're asking somebody else to be a different person in order to make you happy. It's you discovering, okay, why do I feel this way in this relationship? What's really going on here? And you identify that, so then you can talk through it and decide, how do we pivot, or how do we reintegrate so that we are meeting each other where it makes sense to meet each other. All right, Capricorn, I'm going to draw one more card for you. It's your I Am Healing affirmation card. I am healing from the past. Yeah, this has a lot to do with like what you've carried with you up to this point, and it's coming to the surface. So use this retrograde period, and Venus is also in retrograde, which means we're reevaluating relationships big time. So I'm healing from the past. Pay attention to what's coming up. All right, Capricorn, you let us know how we did in the comments, and we will catch you very soon.